Hello, my name is Rohan Dharan, and I'm a fourth grade AT at Mitchell Elementary. Today, I'll be talking about one of the most crucial parts of teaching, giving directions. Effectively giving directions is essential to ensuring your students complete the tasks that are expected of them successfully. The greatest challenge with giving directions is maintaining the students' attention long enough to communicate everything they need to know. In the following clips, you will see examples of me giving directions, and I will point out what went well and what could have been improved on with each clip. Enjoy!
Going to talk to a partner for 2 minutes. You're going to talk about cuál es la fecha de hoy, cuál fue la fecha de ayer, y cuál es la fecha de mañana. You're going to talk for 2 minutes. Today I'm not going to call on any volunteers. I'm just going to pick some people randomly. So make sure you know how to answer the question if I happen to call on you, alright? Find a partner if you don't have. Looks like everybody should have one. So you have 2 minutes to talk about this now.
This is a task that the students engage in every day. For that reason, I went through the directions fairly quickly and I did not take the time to check for understanding. I emphasized the main change from normal that I would not be calling on volunteers. While this is a task that the students are very familiar with, I could have spoken a little slower just to ensure that they clearly understood what was expected of them. I tend to default to speaking in a loud and fast manner, and it is something that I continue to work on.
We're going to play a quick matching game. So I'm going to give you and your table a stack of cards. Half of them have words on them, half of them have animals on it, so you can just play a quick matching game, alright? Any questions? Yes. Yeah, it should be in groups too, with partners, but this table can work in groups too.
These directions were also for a fairly simple task that the students are used to completing. Again, I went through the basic instructions fairly quickly and I did not do a formal check for understanding. I did take time to answer questions, which is a crucial component to giving effective directions. Not only does it ensure that the students are clear on what is expected of them, it also lets me know what parts of the directions I did not make clear so I know what to make sure I mention the next time I give directions.
Question? Nope, it's a monster, so he's got body parts, some of them have more body parts than normal humans have. Yes? No, they're all different, so you can't be looking off your partner because it's going to be different. Yes? That's why we learned. Yeah, so all the body parts are going to be up here on the board, and Senor Jim and I are also here to help you if you can, if you have trouble, okay? Any other questions?
In this case, the students had several questions about the activity after I had already given the directions. While there are a few things I probably should have made more clear in my initial instructions, questions from students also tend to snowball. One thing that I did not make very clear until the question was asked was what support the students would have while they completed the task. It is important for them to know what they can look on the board for versus what they need to ask one of us about if they have questions while they are working.
Ahora tenemos una actividad. We have an activity, a worksheet. So this is similar to the Monstruo actividad. So on top, there's a description of one of the landscapes that we just learned about, and it tells you some of the things, some of the animals, and some of the features that it has in Espanol. So your job is going to be to draw what it is describing on top, alright? So who can tell me what we're looking for with the activity? Sophia? Miles, I think you should be listening to Sophia right now.
These directions, I was setting up an activity that was a little bit more complicated. I did a good job of referring to a similar activity they had already completed in order to start them off with a good foundation. I went through the instructions on the worksheet and explained exactly what was expected. In order to check for understanding, I called on a student to recite the instructions back to me. While this is an effective strategy for making sure you were understood, other students often tend to tune out when their classmates are speaking. That's why it was important that I redirect the student who was not paying attention.
Vamos a hacer una actividad sobre la playa y el campo. So what you're going to get is a crossword puzzle that has the pictures of the different kinds of landscape features that we learned, and then there's a word bank at the bottom. You're only going to use the words once. And you need to make sure that you include el or la for it to fit in the spaces, okay? So who can give me a review of what we're doing? What are we doing? Cameron? What are we doing? A puzzle, see? What else? How do you solve this puzzle? See?
This clip showed one of my biggest weaknesses with giving directions, and that is using Spanish. I usually start off by saying, vamos a hacer una actividad, but then explain everything else in English. Part of this is warranted in my prioritizing the students understanding the directions than being exposed to all Spanish. But I could make more attempts to introduce and repeat simple phrases that can be used while giving directions. Furthermore, when I checked for understanding and got a very simple response from a student, I did a good job of not saying the student was wrong, but also asking the other students to offer a little bit more in order to ensure full understanding. Throughout my A2LP semester, I have learned a great deal about giving directions. Some important aspects that I was not able to show include giving students an example before they start their work, and then clearly outlining how much time they will have to complete the task. Giving directions can be difficult, but doing it effectively makes the class run much smoother. I can still work on making the directions clear with step-by-step instructions, as well as speaking more slowly and varying my tone. But I think overall I have greatly improved at giving directions, and the students are able to effectively learn from me. I've had so much fun this semester, so thank you, A2LP.